timing here as we move over to qualifying. This is round number 11 of the North American Grand Prix Monday Night Open Wheel Championship, coming to you live from Mosport in Canada. And I am joined by my broadcast partner here on Monday nights, Brad Maris. Brad, welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Al. Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, something like that, Mosport, and that's what I like to call it. Quite a track, pretty historic track, really, it has to be said. The perfect fit, I think, for the Ferrari 312. A lot of big name corners out there. Quebec corner, they got the S's, they got the White's corner, last corner, something like that, and of course, Moss corner, so can't forget about that. Yeah, good times, good stuff.
10 corners here. Take a look at the track map real quick. Turn 5 and 6, which you said, Moss corner. Very important part of the track. But the guys are out on track for the second to last qualifying session of the season. Last week's winner, Chris Moses, again the fastest guy on track. He had a great dominating performance last week at Monza. Looks like he's on his way for another one here at Mosport as we follow him around this great track.
Yeah, he's looking pretty sharp. Yeah, looking pretty sharp there, even with the 20 kilograms of ballast saddled into that 312T, but nonetheless looking pretty sharp, and I think that his practice times are pretty indicative of the pace that he's going to run here in qualifying. Coming up now to that Moss corner complex we talked about. Boy, this track is, though, updated and pretty well rendered. Not a lot of grip on offer coming through that hairpin, and I tell you, I think we're going to see a lot. It's going to play havoc with a lot of guys here tonight. Very difficult to keep that rear end in line, but nonetheless, a big blast down the Andretti straight here, coming up in just the last couple corners. It's a very short track, Al, but it's one of those tracks that kind of has the feel of it seems bigger than it actually drives, right? And those tight times are going to equate to some very close action out on track here. Times in qualifying and as we get into the race. Last corner, very tricky, getting on the throttle there through Whites.
So Moses sets provisional pole here with a 14 flat, quickly erased by Kirkbride, who jumps in the first with a 1:13.9. So Kirkbride, once again, showing some great pace here on Monday nights. Had a great run last week. Nice comeback. He actually was leading the early part of the race, but ran into some trouble. Battled back, and nice finish there for himself. But we're watching Ian Parsons now as he makes his way around this place. You talked about the track's actually, it's 4.1 kilometers, about 2.5 miles. But you're right, it does definitely seem bigger than it drives.
It's a high-speed circuit also, and so that's going to, obviously reduce the time for those 4 some odd kilometers, no doubt.
Watching Marty Wren, he is actually looking good here. He's up in the first sector and lost the 10th in sector 2.
Yeah, he was looking good, right up there in the official practice session time. So I was actually a little surprised to see, actually. So I did a quick double take, but it was Marty Uren, and coming to the line now for third.
Nice lap for Marty, one of our veterans here. Marty does use the shifter. And not a paddle guy. Mike Monahan to 6. He was actually quick in the first sector. Hefner looking fast in sector 1 as well. But on board with Zach now, filling in for Ian Jolicoeur, who unfortunately not going to be able to run tonight at his home track. Zach's backing out of it. We're seeing a lot of green pop up here. Jack Ivy had a great qualifying last week, not so great result, but man, that was great to see, as it's a home track for Jack. Doesn't live too far from here. In fact, I think Jolicoeur, Ivy, Kevin Miller, a few guys here, Canadian drivers who can call this track home.
Mike Graycheck, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if he's here tonight. Yeah, well, I think a lot of the Canadians definitely circle this track when it pops up on the calendar, but a few fast drivers to get through, particularly that Chris Moses there jumping back into the top spot there provisionally. 13.7, that is the time we saw from him in that practice session, so let's see if we can do better than that even.
Here with running, yes, he's on an out lap. Taylor coming out. Kevin Kirkbride up half a second in the first second. Moses has reset provisional pole with a 1:13.7, and he is up as well. Ooh, Kirkbride, bit of a mistake there.
Yeah, we're going to see quite a bit of that.
And Moses does the same thing, so he takes it off. Parsons in the pits. 25-minute qualifying session here tonight. And every night on Mondays, but let's see, Marty's now going to retry here. Go at it again.
Yeah, you can get away with quite a bit there coming through the second corner, but a little bit just too much over the limit, and you're in the grass and into the Armco very hard. So, very risk-reward type corner, that Quebec corner.
Ooh, Marty was up again. Had to pull out as ran it a little bit wide there, got a little out of shape.
Yeah, these guys will get definitely get multiple laps here on a single run, so they should get 2, maybe even 3 timed laps if they wish it here.
This is up in the first sector.
Boy, we've seen some big first sector times behind him, though. Guys that have not been able to match the overall lap pace, but have put in really strong first sectors. We see you ran again, so interesting that these guys have not been able to hold the whole lap together.
I was seeing John Walker back in 9th. He qualified quite well here last season. Had an opportunity to win the race, but kind of mired in the back now in this qualifying session. But Moses is even through the first 2 sectors as he comes across the line. Yeah, let's see if he can improve. Nope. Man, Marty is all in the mail in the first sector. Parsons takes it wide.
And was able to get through Moss. Didn't have a great entry to the back straight, but kept it in shape anyway, so didn't get super tail happy, lose a bunch of time in that regard. Second sector coming up.
Marty up in the second sector. Man, what a boost this would be for Marty.
Yeah, tricky last 3 corners coming up.
Pretty clean through there. Marty now to provisional pole with a 1:13.5. Wow is right.
Boy, you're absolutely right. What a coup that would be for Marty to snatch this, snatch a pole position here, second to last race of the season.
Matt Taylor now, our championship leader. Currently back in 6th and carrying a boatload of weight here for tonight's race. 55 kilograms of success ballast. That championship is only separated by 6 points between Moses and his teammate, as Taylor is not going to improve. Mike Monahan, currently in 7th. He's going to back out of it and try again. Take a look at John Wathen. He is off the pace here.
Yeah, it's either an out lap or a bad lap, one of the two.
For reference, our last time we ran here last season, in the Lotus, track record set by Chris Moses of 1:14.1. So we've already eclipsed that in these cars. Chris Moses won the race. Parsons took second, Noah third. Martin ended up finishing fourth, but I believe, if I recall, he was actually in second, or maybe possibly leading. Yeah, he qualified third.
Yeah, it seemed to remember something coming undone for him there right toward the end of that race.
Yeah, he was leading for a little while. Gave up the lead near the end of the race.
Nonetheless, good run, great run for Waffen last season. The competition index winner last season, if memory serves. Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Currently 7/10 off in second two. Kirkbride's looking like he's even. Wanda picks up a position. Kirkbride is even through the first sector. And even split in sector two as well. And he's got a little bit of traffic just ahead. That's Brian Story. He just took it wide. This is going to not help Kirkbride. Bit of an oversteer for Kirkbride. Yep.
Last ride was so difficult. Yeah, it sure seemed like Story was going to kind of get out of the way there, didn't he?
Yep. But that did not happen. So Parsons currently in fourth. He is on an outlap. Well, he was on an outlap. He's on a flyer now. He's well behind in the first second. Ronnie Nunez hoping he can fix his technical gremlins here as he's DNF'd. Was leading the championship for most of the season. And then A1 Ringen last week at Monza disconnected due to his equipment letting him down. But Reed might have gotten it sorted out. So we'll run down that championship situation. Ronnie coming up here. But on the outside looking in at the moment, it's going to take Miracle to finish in the front.
Yeah, actually picked up some time there in the second sector to Ronnie Nunez. I've been kind of keeping an eye on Ronnie here in the practice session and in qualifying because, he's not carrying any weight here tonight. So I think we would have seen him a little further up had he gotten, maybe he hasn't gotten as much practice as he would have liked, something like that. But not running quite as strong as I thought he might.
No, not able to improve that lap. Remains in fifth. John Houston finishing second last week, actually, best result of the season. And great run at Monza. But he is currently on an outlap, currently in seventh. Yeah, he's well off in the first sector. Yeah, hand it to Taylor. Pretty impressive time there, keeping that gap under a second from first to where he is in sixth. Carrying all that weight.
It really is. I think, no matter where Taylor qualifies, I think it's really going to come down to the race for him, carrying that weight and how he manages the weight in the race. I think that's really what he's going to be focused on. Wherever he starts, as higher up as he starts, will just be kind of a bonus,
Davey just sets his personal best, currently in 13th. Houston. Does not improve. Kirkbride up in sector 2,
wow.
So he's got a good lap. There's a chance to knock Marty off the down a notch here.
Yeah, look pretty clean.
Not good enough, however. 0.09 of a second off of Marty Aren's personal best. So, wow, we got cars going off everywhere. Looks like that was Wathen. Facing the opposite direction. Moses, he's on an outlap. Parsons as well. A little further back, Kevin Miller running in the 8th position. Miller suffering from a DNF last week. Never really got the story as to why he finished that race last week. I think he had some kind of issue as well, technical issue.
Oh yeah, yeah, not sure.
Well, Mansky now jumps up to 7th.
Yeah, Kevin looking strong there in that official practice session as well.
Last one was just so difficult.
Yeah, you know, I took some recon laps and I was chatting with actually Moses right before the race, and it seemed like the track designers had put a refrigerant unit under the track there and sprayed it down with water, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on with it, but it's tricky to say the least. It's more or less impossible not to slide the car there. I mean, kind of no matter how you drive or what you do, the rear end is going to slide. So
Miller does not improve. Monahan currently in 10th. His teammate Jake Feimster coming out of the pits in 11th. John Wathen running here in the 12th position and on a flyer. So far that time holding up for Marty. Wathen showing a half second off in that first sector. Coming into Moss Corner now. Coming through there. This is the 10th in the second split. To the line, might be able to improve here. He improves his time. Splits the Chow Mein Moto team of Monahan and Feimster. Zach Hefner, he's currently in 13th. Jack Ivey, talking about him running in 14th. Greg Myers in the pits in 15th. Greg could potentially win the competition index here coming up. As Moses now sets provisional pole with the 13-4. Marty, I believe, had just improved and was up huge again in the first sector. Kirkbride continuing a lap here. He's on a flyer. Going back to Greg as Kirkbride up in the first sector here. Going back to Greg, he is, I believe Matt Taylor leads overall, but considering he's more than likely the team going to win the team championship, Greg's the next one in line to win that competition index.
Yeah, a lot on the line for Greg then. The last couple championships. Yeah, Kirkbride did get through Moss Corner relatively well that time. Gave up a couple tenths, but still in line here for a good final sector to do some damage.
Hefner up in the first sector. The whole competition index. The driver. Oh, he lost it there in the final split. The driver who covers the most distance in kilometers for the season wins that prize. Qualifying laps are counted.
Coveted.
Yeah, qualifying laps are counted towards that. And but a little caveat there as Hefner loses budget time in the second sector. A little caveat there: if you win a team or a drivers' championship, you cannot win both. So now we go to the next driver on the list. sector, currently sitting in 4th. Definitely a prize I target every season. Fortunately, I had some trouble this season on Thursdays with some technical problems, so I fortunately couldn't make that happen. But definitely see more and more guys finish every race here as Parsons does not improve.
Well, and we've seen it's a very tough task, even if you're driving well and have pretty good luck to finish an event in this Ferrari 312. We've had some very diabolical tracks to put this car up against, so anybody in that competition really deserves a pretty big round of applause.
Marty back on board with him. He just started a lap. Yeah, I believe Taylor completed all but one lap in that so far. But go ahead. And due to that fact, due to the tracks that we run here on Mondays, yeah, time is winding down here. Just 3 minutes. Ooh, look at those sector times. All top 3 guys up. Wow. Marty, the first in line here. Moses, Kirkbride, right behind one another. Ooh, Uran backs out of it. Yeah, Brian Story ahead of him on track. Moses dropped some time in the second sector. Kirkbride appears to be even.
Boy, if you slip, particularly in that second sector, it's so hard to make it back. You just can't really push for extra speed here coming through the last set of corners.
Moses does not improve. Kirkbride does not improve. Oh, he does, but not. He improves his time, but not his position on track.
Yeah, one last shot.
Hey, yep. Douglas checking in on the chat. It is Mosport, and Marty again up in the second sector. He might have had a little bit of a mistake here going into Moss. Got some guys struggling there through the exit of Moss, but Marty's going to back out of it.
There's a visual impediment, that's for sure. He can get back in and out, get one more timed lap in if he's quick about it.
Great to see Marty there at the sharp end. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Moses is on an out lap. Kevin Kirkwood. Also on an out lap. These guys. Oh, Marty's parked it. He's
yeah.
Surprised to see
Gonna
that.
let it ride.
Yep. Parsons starting a lap here. Ogden now improves, jumps up to 8th. Peter Burke having some struggles there. Ooh, Jake Feebster jumps up to 6th late. Wow, what a lap. Up ahead of Taylor.
Wow, I'm looking at John Houston buried back in the field now in 11th. He has a 15 kilograms of ballast, but that's not that much, really.
No, certainly not. A little surprised by that myself. Parsons definitely off the pace here. He is 4/10 off. Moses up in the first sector. Monahan improves his time. Bumping Watson at 10th. Moses is done. He's parked it. Parsons to the line. Ooh, Parsons does not improve. He's going to stay in 4th. Parsons has time for one more. Kirkbride's parked it. Nunez is done.
Big off for Aaron. He's out.
Taylor still making his way around track here. He's on a flyer. We got Zach Hefner behind him. Yep. And Hefner is up. He's been good in the first sector.
Well, if you're Matt Taylor, even if you slip a spot or two in the last half lap here, it's not going to be too much damage done, really, if you're Matt.
4/10 off in the sector. Taylor to the line. 5th. Wow. Right at the end there, he jumps up to 5th.
Nice improvement.
All right. Well, there you have it. Chris Moses snatching pole here by just over a 1/10 of a second on Marty Uren. Marty's certainly Marty's best result here in quite some time. As great to see Marty up there in second. Kirkbride taking third with a pretty impressive run for himself also. But man, that's big. That's huge bonus point for Chris Moses. He's carrying some success ballast from last week's win, but it's just going to bring him ever closer there to the to that drivers' championship that I talked about not too long ago and at the start of this session. But let's run down these standings. Presently, we have Matt Taylor leading right now with 174. Chris Moses in second with 168 points now for that bonus point for pole. Ronnie Nunez in third with 144. Parsons back in fourth with 140. And Luis Nieto in fifth, who I don't believe is here this evening, with 133. But yeah, Taylor and Moses teammates coming down to the wire here in this drivers' championship. Ronnie Nunez 144 points. He's 30 points off the lead, and well, I mean, should trouble run into the two guys up front. I mean, Ronnie's so mathematically in it, as is Aaron Parsons, 34 points back. So we'll see what happens there. But tall order for those two to try and get up to take over the lead of this championship. And the team championship, it's all PMR right now with Precision Motor Racing with Moses and Taylor, teammates leading overall with 341 points. Monty Python's Racing, Luis Nieto and Ronnie Nunez in second with 287 points. T-Brock Dam Bam in third with 253. That's Parsons and John Houston. Kung Fu Racing's Marty Uren and Ian Jolicoeur in fourth with 163. In the taxi service, Greg Myers and Sam Rolfe in fifth with 138. Sam out tonight. He is Kirkbride is substituting for him. So in terms of the team championship, I think it's going to be all PMR at this point, but still a couple teams mathematically, well, at least one team mathematically still in it should they finish 1-2, but the last two races, but another tall order for the team prize, but not so much for the drivers' championship, Brad.
Yeah, well, you know, Monza played a big role last week. I mean, Ronnie Nunez and Aaron Parsons both, well, Aaron Parsons had a disappointing result due to not his fault, got involved in a wreck out there, not of his making, and Ronnie Nunez, of course, had that second disconnect there at Monza, so gave a lot of definition. You're absolutely right. I mean, the only way PMR loses this thing, in my opinion, is if they happen to fall apart. So, but barring any of that, they're looking like they're in pretty darn good shape with 2 rounds left, no question.
All right. Well, we got some time here. We're going to, we got just over 2 minutes to go before we go green. Let us run down the starting order for tonight's race. Brad, what do you say?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, so starting from pole, Chris Moses. I believe that's his 4th this season. 3rd or 4th. Starting from pole, Chris Moses. 2nd is going to be Marty Uren, his best qualifying result this season. Nice job for Marty. And 3rd, Kevin Kirkbride. 4th is going to be Aaron Parsons. Matt Taylor, who I don't believe is on the grid yet, is going to be starting in 5th.
Ronnie Nunez, maybe a little disappointing to see him to start 6th tonight, but on the other hand, Jake Feimster, put in a very nice time for 7th. Kevin Miller's going to take 8th. Mike Monahan's going to take 9th. John Wathen slipped up to 10th.
Kevin Lemansky's going to start in 11th. John Houston languishing here back a little bit in 12th. Zach Hefner is going to start 13th. Jack Ivey 14th, and Greg Myers is going to start 15th.
Yeah, Peter Burt took over the 16th spot. Brian Story starts 17th. Chuck Carter takes 18th. Ken Baldwin's in 19th. Mark DeGraw starts 20th.
And we have Ryan Robbins, newcomer last week, was his first race, going to start 21st. And let's see who else go. Oh, Lou Mascarelli's going to be starting from the back here, coming in late. So, what you call, Brad? Marty starting on the front row. He hasn't been up in the front row in quite some time. Might give Moses a little pressure there early.
Yeah, he'll have to get by him on the start. Otherwise, I like Chris Moses.
Yeah, it's a tough call here. He has always done well at this track, but I agree with you. I think it's going to be Moses' night again as we're about to go green from Mosman. And green flag, we are away. Nice stop from Chris Moses. Marty gets alongside of Chris, but sounds like we've got one car off at least.
Yeah, Lemansky off from high up on the grid.
Yep, he's falling back. Very nice start here. Taylor maintains that 5th. I think Monahan just took it off into the lawn.
No!
Field makes its way through Moss Corner for the first time.
Filled good through Moss Corner, but the heavy damage there on that Mike Monahan machine.
Parsons having a look on the outside now of Kirkbride, and it looks like Parsons gets it done, and I think Ronnie Nunez just took it off. He did. He's buried back in the field. He's rejoined, but back at 14, so tough start for Ronnie. Ooh, Kirkbride took that spot back now from Parsons.
Yeah, quickly back to Nunez. I just don't think he's had much practice. Doesn't look like it to me.
Matt Taylor all over the back of Aaron Parsons. But I'll tell you what, the two drivers up front, Moses and Uren, quickly starting to put some time between. What happened, Brad?
Oh, big miss by Moses going into Moss. Sorry, I thought you had jumped on board there. He got away with it, but was completely off the track. Got gathered up and got back out in front of Marty Uren. But nonetheless, very close moments there for Chris Moses of going to the back of the field.
Yeah, it didn't cost him too much time. It looks like Marty's still about 7/10 off of Moses here.
Yeah, he got it gathered back up. I mean, was completely off the track, wide, and had a good angle to get back on the track surface and just lay down the power, and kind of shot away.
That's right, just that's fast lap of the race. We got Hefner all over Kevin Miller.
Boy, you ran fast through the
he's flying.
second corner.
He is flying. great start for John Watson, up to 6th. And
Wow.
John Houston up to 7th now. Kirkbride just set fast lap of the race. It's early, but just set the fast lap of the race. Marty's still hanging on to the back of Moses. This isn't going to be a runaway. It doesn't seem that way anyway.
Yeah, not yet. I suspect Moses may have done a little bit to make sure that the car is going to be good throughout the entire stint. So he may be, we've seen this in the past, particularly from Moses, taking away a little bit of early stint pace. Word on the street is, Al, we should be looking at 2 stops for the majority of the field here tonight on the softs.
Oh, I failed to mention, yeah, this is a 37-lap affair as Hefner had a brief look on the outside of Kevin Miller. Not able to make that pass thick. Now he's going to have a look on the inside of turn 1. Thought better of it.
Boy, sure showing pretty good speed here, though, for Zach. Boy, this race so tough, especially to actually race. We may see some big gaps open up here by the end of this event, Al, but nonetheless, tough racing out there for these guys tonight.
Still hanging on board here with Hefner as he's really putting the pressure on Kevin Miller. Already working lap 4 of this race.
Yeah, and isn't it strange to say now? You can say,
Oh, Hefner with a bobble. Doesn't lose much time.
yeah, could have been worse. Strange to say, you know, we can talk about Kevin Miller now as the NAGP veteran. I mean, shoot, it seems like just that 12 races ago, Kevin Miller joined up and started running with us, but it's been a good 6, 7, 8 seasons now. And here's the young gun trying to hunt him down there for that 8th spot.
Sets fast lap of the race on Lord Parsons. This battle has been tight. Also tight up here is Watson and John Houston now, as these two are fighting nose to tail.
Well, Houston can use a little dose of what happened to him last week out there at Monza. Have good pace, keep it clean, and get a little luck. But absolutely right. Right now it's John Watson looking for some position change, and wouldn't have expected that necessarily when Watson qualified.
He might get a run on Houston here. Oh, a little bobble from Houston, but Watson might be able to get a run on him here down the Andretti straight.
Boy, such a tough pass attempt going into the S's, but gonna try it on the outside.
Looks like Watson's going to get it done. Can he keep it on track? He does. Nicely done there by John Watson.
Yeah, it's not over yet. Boy, rhythm, so important coming into those last 2 corners, and if you're off on the first, you're going to be off on the second.
Looks like Watson's going to hang on to that spot. Right behind these guys is still this Hefner Miller battle. Moses, that gap now 4 tenths between Marty and Chris. What a race Marty's
Surprised
had.
Moses. Yeah, I can't believe Moses has not pulled a gap yet. I say yet, but then again, you know, if we're thinking about 2 stops, we're already kind of halfway to our first pit stop, right? So, yeah, very nicely driven here so far by Marty Uren. And boy, that Kirkbride, he's saying, well, wait a minute, I can still see the 2 up front.
That's a field stream down the Andretti straight.
Boy, and it looks like as this race, even though it's very early, it looks like as it's gone on, Uren has gotten more and more confident each lap here.
Lemansky,
What the car's doing underneath him.
nice pass by Kevin on the inside, going down the Andretti straight, heading into the S's. He gets past Brian Story now. Lemansky up to 13th. He's got Ivy in his sights now. Taking a look on the inside. A gap with Moses And Marty's just screwing through that first sector, really closing up the gap on Chris.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Obviously, he's running some extra front downforce, lower rear downforce, or something that gives him a big benefit coming through that Clayton corner.
Lemansky now as he's gonna hang on to it. He does. Wow. Had to check up slightly, but man, that thing got out of shape. Oh, he's gonna get a run on Jack here down the straight.
Yeah, well, we know Lemansky has the speed, and he got put back to 17th, 18th, something like that, so pretty good progress through the field here after that mishap.
Have another look on the inside here. That's where he got by Story. 2 laps. 2 positions for Lemansky, now up to 12th. Back on board with Zach Hefner. What a fight these guys have been having since the drop of the green flag. Good advantage Miller, but Hefner has had a couple looks here on Kevin. This is for the 8th position.
I'll wait to see what happens through Moss here, because you never know. It's just hard to explain. I've gone back to it a couple times this season, but it's hard to describe just how difficult this type of racing is in this car and this track combination, particularly on a place that's very difficult to pass. These guys really are pretty much right on the limit in these things, and it is tough to do.
Mentioned Mark DeGras yet. He is currently back in 16th, and Jake Feimster, not quite sure what happened to Jake, but he is back in 17th. Must have had some type of as Mascarelli checks out, but Feimster put some pressure on DeGras.
You're in. He's had a problem now. I missed it, but he's slipping back.
Yep, not Gilardi. I missed it as well. He's fallen back to 4th. So it is now Moses, Kirkbride, and Parsons, your top 3. Story's had some problems, and he's disconnected. Taylor on the back of Marty.
Well, that year-end machine still looks pretty clean.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. Doesn't look like he's had any contact with anything, so I think he just may have made a mistake there and took it off somewhere. Certainly he's got the pace over Taylor there running in 5th, so expect Marty to pull some distance there on that. Man, this is closing up quickly now to John Houston. This Houston, Miller, Hefner fight. Ronnie Nunez now in the mix. This is all for 7th place. A train of cars here.
Yeah, I think as the event goes on, Ronnie Nunez will continue to pick up pace, but sure put himself on the back foot with whatever problem he had early. Now having to repass quite a few fast cars here. Boy, going back to Marty real quickly, I think Moses might have been getting a little perturbed with Marty. We see Kirkbride now not giving up any ground to Moses either, so I think Moses was thinking about that year-end battle a little bit, and does not have the measure of the field quite yet.
See that gap? It is close. 7th through 10th.
It could very well be that Uren was starting to feel a little bit of heat himself from the Kirkbride machine, so could have forced him into that mistake also.
Kirkbride just sets fast lap of the race. That is now 14-4 for Kevin Kirkbride.
Wow, so we're coming up on stops here pretty soon if these guys are going to do it within the next couple 3 laps. Now, I know a couple of these guys plan on running 2 stops, but maybe we'll see one of these or 2 or 3 of these guys try for that one-stop strategy also and make our jobs even more difficult.
Miller. Little wiggle of the rear end there, and Hefner just can't get close enough exited Moss corner to get a nice acceleration, but Nunez is going to have a look now.
Yeah.
Nunez a little better coming off of Moss. And, yeah, he's going to take that spot away from Hefner. Miller in his sights here. Hefner looking to fight back. Time up front is starting to drop slightly there between Moses and Kirkbride. Well, it's 1.5. Now it's under right or second.
Sure, and I'm looking at the lap times here. Moses is not dropping off of his lap pace. Kirkbride is picking his up. So he's just getting it done on pure pace here, is Kevin Kirkbride. Current fast lap of the race there for Kirkbride with a 14.4 FYI.
Wow, these guys are all catching up to Matt Taylor in 5th. Those times are coming down. So Taylor,
and
this is... Go ahead, Brad, sorry.
No problem at all. That's exactly what I was talking about. As we see Nunez picks up another spot there with Matt Taylor is managing the race, right? So we knew with that weight that he could very well struggle, and now it's going to be about trying to maintain position with that weight with those cars coming up behind.
Parsons in the pits. So yeah, gonna have some more action in the pits. Looks like Taylor is in. So Taylor on the 2-stop. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here in terms of where these guys come out. So Taylor in the pit lane.
Boy, and he's going to be slipping all the way back to 14th. So had a couple retirements here. Only 20 left on track, but Taylor is slipping all the way, 14th, 15th.
Battle here for first between Kirkbride and Moses. These guys have hit the pit. Moses coming in. Kirkbride coming in.
Okay. I was wondering maybe if Kirkbride is not on a 1-stop but still showing good pace, but no, indeed they're going to be even Stevens. And if you're Moses, you got to be thinking about this right now. Like, hey, wait a minute, this guy's running me down toward the end of these stints.
So Moses to a stop. Kirkbride getting serviced. Marty Uren is in. Kevin Miller. Kirkbride away. Moses is away. Oh, you see that gap. That gap as Kirkbride has actually picked up some time here on Chris Moses. Marty Nunez, Kevin Miller electing to stay out.
Yeah, well, these are the guys to watch. If they don't come in, then it looks like they could be on that 1-stop strategy. Of course, that's nothing new for Ronnie Nunez. We've seen that from him quite a bit, both in the open wheel class and the GT class. Taking stints deep.
Jack Ivey has stayed out, as has Kevin Baldwin. We got somebody off. Somebody go off, but I'm not sure who that was. So Parsons looking at about 7 seconds off, just under 7 seconds off of Moses and Miller. Both those guys have pitted. Matt Taylor, about 17 seconds off. And man, is he under some heat here.
Yeah.
Hefner has pitted. Taylor has pitted. Ooh, we got somebody off. That's Marty Uranus taking it off hard into the wall.
Oh. It's been a while since he's been in that position. Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Ooh, that's a tough situation there for Marty. All right, so Nunez, I believe, has pitted. Kevin Miller remains on track and in the lead now.
So Nunez has come in. Okay, well, that's definitely short of halfway. Wait, has Nunez come in?
I believe he has, yeah.
Yeah, because he was just running up toward the front. Yep.
Let's see, taking a look at Nunez's times here. He has come into the pits for service.
Or maybe it was Marty that I was thinking of that. Ooh.
So it looks like Ken Baldwin might be done. He's falling down the list here.
Yeah.
Let's check in now back with... Looks like John Houston and Wathan have picked up spots over Matt Taylor. So they come out, Nunez, Wathan, Houston all ahead of Matt Taylor. Taylor back in 10th, and he's under serious threat from Hefner, but Hefner just took it wide. Gather it back up here.
Yeah, hard to tell what happened to Matt. Yeah, I'm wondering if I mean, Matt was one of our first to stop, right? And I'm wondering if he did get caught up in some traffic. Of course, those guys are closing down in on him there that first stint, but if he got some traffic coming out of the pits, I could have held him up even more. But yeah, things are now difficult for Matt Taylor. You're your championship leader here, having to do work.
Miller may be on a one-stopper here, Brad. He's got 8 seconds up over Chris Moses. We saw him do this a few races back, but he is 8 seconds up on Moses. He needs to go. Oh, DeGrasse turned it around.
Just another lap or two, Al.
Yep. He'll be good to go.
Yeah, his lap time's not great, but, 15.5s, thereabouts, which is, hey, eliminate a pit stop, you're going to cut out quite a bit of time. Certainly running them very consistently, those 15.5 laps.
And Houston's desperate to stay ahead of Taylor, the team championship implications here. On board with Hefner as we see some smoke and debris up near the front going through Moss, but looks like that's cleared up.
You have to be so careful if you're Matt Taylor right now. If Hefner really starts looking like he's going to be doing something funny back there, you want to get that pass on Houston, but you gotta be watching your mirrors too. Make sure that you can avoid any possible trouble behind. And Taylor, wow, really closing up there through the Andretti straight.
Jack Ivey has yet to pit, running in 4th, so... Oh, Zach! He kept it together. He nearly turned it around. Whoa! Taylor gets up close to Houston now. Houston might be struggling a little bit here, Brett. Either that or feeling the heat from Taylor and just overdriving.
I think that he's feeling the heat really more than anything else. I mean, he's got the fresh rubber on and everything, so he should be good to go. But on paper, look at it, and Houston should have pace on Taylor. I think that these guys, T-Brock, Dan Bam, John Houston, Aaron Parsons, are running a bit of extra downs. Whoa!
Taylor takes it off.
Taylor, that was close.
That was very close. Only loses one spot there, but that could have been a lot worse for Taylor. This is not going the way he would like.
Yeah, not at all. But I think in some ways it might not be bad. Look, if you're in danger of giving up those positions anyway, and it's looking like those guys might have pace on you as the championship leader, sometimes a cautious approach is okay, and this could help him relax, kind of just settle in, go, okay, well, now I can just focus on the track and staying safe from here on out, right?
Working lap 19. Jack Ivey has yet to pit.
Now those guys will both be in directly, Miller and Ivey.
Shows you how difficult this track is to get around. Parsons just has not been able to get past Jack, and he just got the pass made. Hefner might have gone. Hefner take it off, or did Taylor? Taylor with another mistake here. He's fallen back now. Behind. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry, that was Wathan who took it off, and Wathan just made another mistake.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got some damage to the side of his car. Not sure what happened there to Wathan. Let's see, Taylor, he doesn't have any damage, it looks like, to his car.
Okay, so, looks like Miller is in. It's going to be a longer stop than those other guys. Needs a little bit more fuel.
Jim Feenstra back up to 6 now. Oh, he is in the pits also, so he also on a 2-stopper. So guys out of sequence here, kind of leaving us guessing.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was Ivey also did come in for his stop also.
So we saw that gap with Moses and Kirkbride. Moses, who came in just 6 or 7 tenths up on Kirkbride coming into the pits, came out with Kirkbride right on his tail, but he's extended the lead now to 2 seconds over Kirkbride. So Moses is extending going pretty well.
Yeah, and well, he had to do something. I mean, he saw the pace Kirkbride had late in the stint, so Moses came out and knew that he had to push a little extra coming out. So that's the strategy. Those are the decisions you make during the course of an event. And we'll see if Kirkbride here in these last laps before their last stint manages to pick up a little extra time.
Kevin Lemansky, whoa! Trying to get a draft off of Greg Myers. Might have had it, but threw a couple wheels onto the grass heading up the straight. So Lemansky been very successful tonight getting past people down that Andretti straight. Oh, what a battle. Hefner has been locked in some nice fights here throughout this entire race so far. He was going at it with Kevin Miller earlier. Now he's going at it here with John Houston. Kevin Miller come out Brad in 8th. He's behind Taylor by about a second. He's good to go to the end.
He actually came out right in front of Matt Taylor, but made a little bit of a mistake while trying to keep Matt Taylor behind and gave that position up, much to Matt Taylor's happiness, I'm sure. But nonetheless, it's 30 seconds. Moses is pushing hard. Miller still has him covered. Moses covered at the moment. Moses is going to come out with quite a bit of speed from that second stop with a good opportunity to hunt him down. But I think right now it's going to be Miller rotating back to the front of his field.
Near the end, yeah, I think you're right. It was earlier this season, Miller did this. Everybody was on a 2-stop, and Miller ran that 1 stop. And I think it was actually Zandvoort, maybe, and he was leading a race near the end. Just couldn't hang on to the pace of some of these fast guys. But looking at Lemansky right now, he has made his way past Myers. We just missed it. But that gap to Moses and Kirkbride now, almost 2.5 seconds. I still need to make one more stop.
Miller
not have the legs here. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, John Huston himself now, quite the KG veteran, it has to be said, and even if he is feeling he's being pushed, making a few mistakes, he is going to place the car in pretty good positions where it makes his opponent difficult to pass. And not likely to make the type of mistake, you know, like just completely binning it and throwing it off track, something like that. Let's see, so Moses now running similar lap times to what he did in the first stint at this stage. Kirkbride is...
Sorry, Brad.
Yeah, running slightly... Okay.
Now, I was just making note of Ronnie Nunez's nice recovery here after that off on the first lap. He's up to fourth now, only 6 seconds off of Parsons running in third.
Yeah, it was only that mistake that he made, and it certainly was not as big as like the one that Uren made, given, you know, helping him out to get back up some of those spots. Yeah, and here we go. So the tide may be turning slightly for Kirkbride. Has finally eked out a little bit of the advantage there on leader Chris Moses, and just another 2 or 3 laps to go for those pit stops to cycle through yet again. Now it's up to Kirkbride to figure out, okay, how do I try to maintain a better pace myself now in the first part of the stint? What do I do? Maybe I can come in a little early, make use of on-track tires, you know, maybe the tires will hold up a little longer, deeper in the stint when I have better speed, less fuel.
That window's there, so these guys stay out here as Moses Kirkbride, Parsons running in third, kind of by himself at this point. Nunez running in fourth, Houston in fifth. He's still being pressured here by Zach Hefner running in sixth. Taylor back in seventh, running ahead of Kevin Miller in eighth. Miller on a one-stopper. Another guy to keep an eye on is Jack Ivey, also on a one-stopper.
Yeah.
He was up near the front there towards the end of his stint. John Wathen running in ninth. Kevin Lemansky up to 10th. Greg Myers here running in 11th. Got Jack Ivey back in 12th. Chuck Carter running in 13th. Mike Monahan. Looks like these guys have pitted Monahan and Kingsler. Peter Burke. I don't think at all about Peter Burke, but he's back there in 16th, one lap down. Marty Uren, who started from the front row in second, back in 17th and just threw it off here. Marty, oh boy, comes out just ahead of John Huston. And that giving Hefner the opportunity now to get past. So for how many laps were these guys going at it? Houston
Moses Kirkbride in now.
They are in the pits, but Houston looking to get around Hefner on the outside. Not going to happen. Hefner's going to hang on to it. So Kirkbride is away. Moses slow on the slow stop. You see that gap? Kirkbride right on his tailpipe. Oh, Moses takes it wide, nearly throws it off. Hefner stayed out. He is now up to fourth. I'm sorry, third. But here's the gap between the lead here. Kevin Kirkbride and Chris Moses, 0.4 of a second separating these two guys. You got Marty Uren, who's a lap down, and Zach Hefner still needs to pit. Kevin Miller, who's on a one-stopper, he is only 9 seconds off the lead, but he's good to go to the end.
Yeah, that gap needed to be about 25 seconds as it turns out, so we were a little off in our calculations. Kevin Miller not going to cycle through the lead, but nonetheless, he is ahead of quite a few cars he would not otherwise have been in front of. So Jack Ivey as well, we talked about him. He is currently in front of Matt Taylor. Matt Taylor 10th, Jack Ivey 9th.
Move Miller up to 3rd. Hefner comes into the pits. There's Miller coming across the start-finish line, but yeah, Chris Moses quickly rocketing out to a 1 second lead over Kirkbride.
Well, I'm sure Kirkbride put maximum effort and probably was overdriving just a little bit there trying to make that early pass. He knew how essential it was, but now he's going to have to, like I say, he's going to have to lift that pace here for these first 7 or 8 laps and try to stay within striking distance when that momentum shifts back to his side by the end of this race. It's going to be
Moses with a little mistake there. Got to wheel off, but he's recovered. Parsons 8 seconds off of Kevin Miller in 3rd. Nunez picks up some time on Parsons. That gap was about 6 seconds and is now down to 3. Zach Hefner rejoins in 6th ahead of John Houston. And Ivey's good to go here, running in 8th in front of Taylor.
Yeah, in front of Taylor, right? I was going to say, I think Nunez may have Aaron Parsons' measure here by the end of this race. Just 9 laps to go, but Nunez is going to be running slightly better lap times than Aaron Parsons in 4th.
Mike Monahan up to 10th. I believe Monahan's good to go. I don't think him and his teammate Jake have already pitted. Wathan split those 2 guys, so John Wathan now trying to put the heat on Mike. Here running.
Yeah, Monahan on the one stop, I think. Sorry, Al. Came in on lap 19.
We're now with Kirkbride.
Yeah, Walter Kirkbride, this is exactly what you need to do. I mean, it's seeming like for between these 2 guys, every single 10th of a second is going to matter by the end, right? So as long as he can stay within 1 second is going to aid his cause.
Taylor. Ivey with a
14-2.
Ivey with a 2-second gap over Matt Taylor.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that would be enough on the one stop, but I guess you never know. I had to get in real quickly, and Matt Kirkbride last lap by 14-2. Best lap of the race to Chris Moses' 14-4.
Miller running back there at the moment comfortably in 3rd. 11 seconds off these guys. This is a comparison. Yeah. Miller's best lap 15-3. That's running with more fuel.
Yeah, but you know what? Not many laps left to go here. I think he's got a great shot to hold on to that podium position.
Start lap 30, 37. This is the battle for the lead up front between Moses and Kevin Kirkbride.
Yeah, elevating his pace, puts in another 14.5, and he's doing exactly what he needs to do here if he wants to remain in there with a shot at this thing.
And the gap's starting to dwindle here for Moses. It's 4/10 splitting these 2 guys now.
Yeah, I think if you're Chris Moses, you might be thinking a little bit about saving here for the next 3 or 4 laps. He may be saving just a little bit to make sure that he can cover that pace here for the last 3 or 4 laps. This is just so tight. Every inch, every meter. We're in Canada. Every meter becoming important.
Richard Taylor now trying to get around Jack Ivy. Ivy's going to want to hang on to this spot in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, is he our highest Canadian? Highest place
Kevin
Canadian?
Miller.
I think he is.
Kevin Miller in third.
Oh, of course. Duh. Yeah. Oh, Kirkbride! Into the pits!
Oh boy. What was that all about, Brad?
I don't know. I just saw it on the scoring. So Rip second or first. Ooh,
Wow.
Miller throws it off.
Yeah, he did throw it off.
I think Miller, he looked up at the scoring pylon and was like, what the heck's going on, and threw it off.
Kirkbride is done.
Oh, wow. Oh, no.
That's unfortunate. Oh, Taylor, no doubt, happy to see that. But Parsons starting to push here. He's only 3 seconds off of Kevin Miller, and right behind him, Ronnie Nunez. Taylor now, this is probably the closest battle on track. Taylor trying to get around Jack Ivy for that 7th position.
All right, 5 laps to go. You're in 7th. You definitely don't want to give up the position at this point. Start fighting just that ever little bit harder as the laps continue to wind down each lap. Boy, Kevin Miller looking so solid for that 2nd place. Suddenly, with that mistake, finds himself in the clutches.
That's right, copy.
Yeah, guys, I just hip crawled into the corner. Sorry. How you guys doing?
Curious what happened there, man. You had a great run going.
I was just pushing and pushing and pushing, just trying to stay with him, just in case he made a mistake. And he came out of that corner. I hadn't really been having any problems, and came out of the final corner and just got a little oversteer, and I couldn't correct it. And got the wall, and the suspension was damaged. And that was it.
Well,
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, I wasn't expecting that to happen. I had full control of the car, I think, at most times, so that just really caught me off. Really disappointed.
All right, well, good luck next week, Kevin. Tough luck, man.
Yep, take care.
Well, that's unfortunate. It's also unfortunate here for Taylor as he is unable to get around Jack Ivy here. Trying to gain as many points as he possibly can out of this one, but it is Jack Ivy. Ooh, a little moment there for Taylor, but Jack Ivy running a fantastic race here.
Yeah, absolutely right, and took Ronnie Nunez a while to get up to Aaron Parsons for that possible now podium spot. He has finally done it. Laps are
Little moment there for Jack that allowed Taylor to get alongside. Taylor. Jack hangs on to this position here. Looks like he may. The two go side by side. Jack. Not sure what happened to Jack there, but made it pretty easy for Taylor to get around. Jack's gonna fall back a position here. As it is now a little further up track. Ronnie Nunez putting the heat on Aaron Parsons for 3rd. Bodes well here for Kevin Miller out running in 2nd.
Yeah, I'm still a little surprised to see Aaron Parsons not really working, and I suspect that these guys just missed the setup a little bit, him and John Houston, but nonetheless, it has allowed Nunez to come up, and it would be quite the recovery here for Ronnie Nunez to pick up that final podium spot.
Yeah, that would be a very impressive drive for Ronnie. I mean, he was back in like 17th or 18th after that off. He just kept in it.
Yeah, Kevin Miller right now is a big Aaron Parsons fan.
But it could be short-lived here as Ronnie's going to have a look on the outside into the S's. This is going to be advantage Ronnie. Wow. Ooh, Parsons throws it around. No, he hung on to it. What a save. Holy smokes. Kevin Miller now all over the back of Chuck Carter. Chuck Carter a lap down. Chuck's going to let Kevin pass. There's 2 seconds now between Nunez and Miller. No doubt Miller seeing Ronnie coming on strong here at the end.
Well, Ronnie Nunez has about a lap in hand per lap. Problem is, the gap is 2 seconds, and there's only 2 laps to run here for Ronnie Nunez.
Mike Monahan, with some type of mistake, he's fallen back to 12th. He's off pace, and his front wing's all askew.
Oh, he was right up there battling in that 10th spot just a second ago.
He was. As Ronnie now has got some traffic to contend with Chuck Carter. Looks like Chuck's going to let Ronnie pass.
Wow, Chris Moses with the escape, but right on the limit for absolutely everybody else in this field at the moment. Holy cow.
Yeah, Moses might have dodged a bullet there. Kirkbride's misfortune, but 1 to go. Actually, got about a lap and a half to go here. You see that gap between Miller and Nunez. Very close. Parsons not far off. A little surprised, aren't you, Brad, with Parsons being as off pace as he is?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, even as the race has gone on, you'd think, well, he'd figure out a way to work into the groove and find a way to pick up the pace a little bit. But I think they just missed a setup, and I suspect they're just running too much downforce. Really, they're just too slow down the straights.
Yeah, it's funny. Him and John both suffering a little bit here. But Miller, he's got 1 lap to go here, and Ronnie is coming on strong. This is starting the final lap of the race. He's got 21 seconds on hand over Kevin Miller. Ronnie's been really great down the Andretti straight, so if he can nestle up behind Kevin here through Moss, it could be game over for Kevin.
Boy, what could have been. Ronnie Nunez got to be dreading the last 2 races, having those disconnects, knowing that this could have been for the Season 30 championship, but now relegated to fighting for the 2nd spot here on the podium.
Moses making his way down the Andretti straight for the final time. Back on board here. This is going to be huge for Ronnie if he can get a nice exit, and he does. He's going to be all over the back of Kevin. Chris Moses going to take the win here. Ronnie swings out wide. That's where you want to be. Moses takes the checkered flag. Kevin Miller. Looks like Kevin's going to hang on to that position, perhaps.
Holy cow. What's going to...
Oh, Ronnie gets around him. Kevin going to have another look on the inside.
Wow.
It's going to be Ronnie. Miller takes third. Wow, big impact there at the end. Parsons comes finishes 4th. Zach Hefner, what a run for him tonight. Outstanding finish there to take his top 5. Best result for him. John Houston going to come around here in 6th. Jack Ivy's going to take 7th. Oh, Taylor's going to take 8th. So Jack got back around Ivy. Beamster, nice finish there. And 9th, and LeMancey's going to take 10th. Greg Myers still on the lead lap. He's going to finish there in 12th. A good finish for Greg. Wow, what a finish to that race for those two guys, Ronnie and Kevin. Unbelievable. Last lap, last corner pass. But we are now joined by our winner here tonight, Chris Moses. Congratulations.
Oh, Canada! Our home of sacred ham, Pitting Pickett. Hey,
Well, no doubt you're happy about that win, but I'll tell you what, Kirkbride was not making it easy for you. Well, start with qualifying. You really put together a nice lap there in that qualifying session. Had some guys, Marty, with tremendous pace there. Was really quick through the first sector and kind of had a shot there late, but unable to get past you. But starting alongside Marty to start the race, he was really giving you some pressure. And then when he had his issues, Kirkbride started reeling you in. You guys were really close exiting the pits both times. Started to pull a gap on him. Then he'd reel you back in there towards the end of the stint. But it's good racing up to the point when he had his little incident.
yeah, that was some good race. Going to qualifying, that's all I had. Marty put in a great lap and fought me pretty good. And I was kind of rooting for him there. He was hanging with me, but he kept getting loose at that right-hander, and it finally bit him. And that was a tricky corner. And then, Kevin gave me everything he had. I think he had a little bit of pace on me, but the thing I noticed, I was able to get the power down out of the Moss hairpin better than anybody I was around, and that was their key point to try to pass me. So that was a good strength to have in the car.
Well, it was one of those races you don't actually necessarily expect from a guy like Kevin Kirkbride. I mean, he's been around a little while now, hasn't been around a lot, but it was one of those real strategic races. I mean, we could see it shaping up there even in the first stint about how the strategy is going to play out and how do I gain even just that extra couple yards really over the course of the stint because it was very obvious there late in the stints that he had the pace. So it must have been just such a huge relief, but kind of a disappointment maybe too there at the end that you weren't going to be able to really fight it out for that win.
Yeah. What did happen to Kirkbride there? Did he wreck hard, or I didn't even see what happened?
Yeah, coming off the last corner.
That's a shame. I wish he would have been able to finish it out. That was a great run for him. Yeah, man, it was tough. The thing was, the last stint, I was getting a lot more grip through those last, through the higher speed stuff, as long as I kept it nice and tidy. So I think I would have been able to keep better pace at the end of that last stint if I had to. But I was kind of thanking my lucky stars. He did go off, and I was able to back off a little bit. I was starting to get a little mental and physical fatigue there because I was driving absolutely 100% every lap.
Well, it was an impressive drive from a few of you guys, but so that puts you, I believe, in the lead here coming into the last race. Your teammate's going to drop some weight. You're going to put on some weight. I think he's going to have a weight advantage over you going into Watkins Glen. He was a bit behind you guys there tonight, but he's going to be competitive there at the Glen. What do you guys? What is it? May the best man win going into that final race?
Yeah, that's kind of how it's worked out. Goal number 1 tonight was to clinch the team championship, and PMR did that. So good work on Matt all season, and we got that snitched up. So that's goal number 1. And then it's kind of every man for himself. These last 2 races, kind of how we looked at it. But on the track, we'd be gentlemen to one another. Not exactly sharing setups the last 2 races. So, just doing a quick math in my head, I think I'm going to be about 8 or 9 ahead of him, and he'll have 5 less kilos. So it'll be tough to beat for the last race, but being only 8 or 9 points within the margin. Should be. It's kind of mine to lose for the last race. We'll see what happens, and hopefully it's a nice clean race.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget you're gonna have some other quick guys on sharing the track with you. So that could play a factor as well. But it's gonna be great to watch, no doubt. There towards the end, you've both been there now a bunch of times, so you're both probably accustomed to being in that position. So it's gonna be great to watch, and wish you guys the best, and both you and Matt. Hopefully, you guys have good results next week and stay out of trouble.
Yeah, I'm looking to exercise some demons from the last round last season when I had a chance to win it. Made a couple mistakes that cost me, and as I drove great, and I blew it. So that's going to be my goal for next week, and I'll bring my A game again. So we'll see. Hey, gave a shout out. I have this 3 wins in a row for me. I gave a shout out to my 2 daughters last 2 races. So my wife got a little jealous. So to my wife Michelle, thank you for putting up with all my sim racing time, and I love you. Thank you.
What a nice guy.
Oh,
I know Michelle, very nice lady. We've met, so.
Yes.
Yep. So tell her I said hello.
Will do.
All right, Chris. Well, good luck. Good luck next week. We'll be rooting for you guys. And congratulations on the team title again.
Thank you very much.
All right, Brad. Well, there you have it. 1 to go. We got Watkins Glen next week for all the marbles. And, I mean, what do you think? Is it going to be Moses coming out on top? It's going to be close.
It might be worth digging into a little bit of the history. We've run that track a few times now here on the Monday Night Open Wheel Challenge, and be interesting to look at the matchups for next week and lay out the previous results from those 2. But we do know it is going to come down to just those 2 drivers, both teammates in PMR, and locked up that classification, and it will be a game on for those 2. There will be no love lost, as it were, for that championship title. Both want it desperately, I can tell you that. I think, on balance, Moses will have it's going to be tough, because you're right, there are going to be fast guys in there, and Moses is going to be dragging around quite a bit of weight, and it will affect him at Watkins Glen. It's got some kind of constant momentum stuff, but I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I can't quite get it right in my mind, Al. But it's complicated, but it's going to be good, and I can't wait for it.
Yep, neither can I. And so there you have it. We're going to be back next Monday night at 9 from the Glen. But before that, we are back live Thursday night for Super Pole for round number 10 of our Thursday night GT League. Jake and Jack will be carrying your coverage for that race. Going to be Super Pole qualifying at the Nordschleife, followed by a 3-lap qualifying race to set the grid for the following 400-kilometer endurance race. So hopefully you guys can tune in for that. It's going to be a great run. Some guys running some pretty incredible times at that place already. So going to be a fun time. So until then, we'll see you guys all next week from the Glen as we wrap up season 30. Here at NAGP. Thank you, everybody, and thanks, Brad. We'll see you all next week. Have a good night.